Fala rapaziada, beleza? Tudo certo? Com vocês que falam com vocês é o Romero, galera. Sim, estamos de volta aqui para mais um vídeo do Horizon Forbidden West, beleza? Deixa eu mostrar para vocês. A gente tá aqui com, mano, 47 nosso nível, velho. Tá muito forte. Não se esqueça, galera, se você quiser ver como é que eu cheguei no nível 47, dá uma olhada na nossa Twitch, que tá lá na frente, ali, ó, passando ali no canto da tela, beleza? Ó, eu já liberei uma parte de coisa aqui, então vamos agora para a missão principal, que é singularidade. Peguei todos os drones, peguei todos as caixas pretas. Falta tudo eu devolver, mas depois eu devolvo num vídeo separado aí pra vocês verem o que acontece. Vamos lá. Então, como deve ser a missão final, acho que a gente vai ter uma boa parte de história falada aí, né? Muito bate-papo.
Got it. Thanks. Well, Sylens, looks like you finally found a door you could open without me.
I'm glad it's there, actually. It kept me from having to mingle with the company you keep. But enough prattle. I believe you owe me an explanation. Your plans for the Zenith base.
You're right. I do owe you. My spear in your throat for deceiving me again. At the Hades Proving Lab.
I doubt you asked me here for that kind of reckoning.
No. Right now, I need your help. So I'm giving you one final chance. But if you ever betray me again, I will kill you no matter what the circumstance. Understood?
Very well. Though we'll both face a decidedly short future if you can't get us inside that base.
Aloy, your other guest is here. She's, coming to you.
Thanks. Good timing. The truth is, I can't actually get us into the base. But she can.
The company you keep is even worse than I thought.
Not a fan of surprises, are you? Oh, look. That must be your little invention.
Does the weapon work? Without self-destructing?
Of course it does. I've eliminated the imperfections and greatly improved its design and output.
How can we be sure?
Care for a demonstration?
Boa.
Enough, both of you. We're in this together, at least for now. Go talk to Erend. Tell him I said to give you rooms of your own. I'll come see you when I get a chance.
Vamos abrir mais locais aqui na base.
Oh, no. You first.
Beleza. E aí?
Gotta get everyone in the control room, so
Tem
Terra can
seus
tell us what she knows
companheiros.
about the Zenith base.
Eu já imaginei isso, já examinei isso aqui, né? Tá, já. O cara nem falou mais nada.
Focus. It's Varl's. I used to think no Nora would ever accept one. Varl did. Even when he was overwhelmed. He refused to let me push him away.
É, o Val é o cara, velho. Ah, sala conduto já examinei. Isso aqui também já. Bom, beleza, galera. Vamos voltando ali. Tem uma par de gente pra gente falar, né? Novas, né? Aqui eu já tinha entrado já ou não? Eu nem lembro mais. Tô tão doido. Tá, precisei ir ali. Tá. Isso aqui. Aqui não tava aberto, tava?
beating the crap out of me makes you feel better.
Deixa eu pegar os bagulho aqui, né? Aí, ó. Boa, gostei. Vou falar com a Alva aqui, ó.
You flew? Kotalo told me. And took out Regala's machines? You know what? I don't even know why I'm surprised. I saw we have visitors and a new weapon. Does this mean we're ready to take the fight to the Zeniths?
Almost.
Tá, deixa eu pular aqui, vai.
Suppose you saw that Tilda is here.
Eu vou pulando, tá, galera? Qualquer coisa, vocês dão uma pausinha pra dar uma lida aí.
I almost went up to her to ask her. Every diviner I know would kill to get 5 minutes with, but now that she's here, I don't know if I'm scared of finding out more. Probably both.
You sure you're okay? I know things must be happening.
I've already braved ocean. Why not a few immortals with...
Guess the more the merrier. Are you okay?
I was wondering. She seems angry.
Don't worry. We're going to the Zeniths.
If you...
I hope our new guest...
The SYLENS.
He is. He refuses to dole out his secrets to us.
Oh.
You know that special part of us?
Our...
Yeah.
Beleza.
I need to wrap up.
I'll be ready when you...
Bom, vou falar com mais quem aqui, com a Zou.
Aloy, it appears that we have some interesting new guests. I'm glad to see you're okay, though. I heard you gave the Tanakh something to talk about. I was half expecting you to burst in through the ceiling riding a sunwing.
Sorry to disappoint. Thoughts on our new...
I'd say she smells like death, but even death, she's more like a cold piece of metal.
She's... dead. Ready to head over to the Zenith Bay.
Whatever comes.
Tá bom.
Have you talked to...
Aaron and I tried speaking to SYLENS.
Charming, isn't he? I have to go. I trust you to keep things civil around here.
I'll make sure Aaron doesn't punch SYLENS in the face, if that's what you mean.
Thanks.
Beleza. Falar com Aaron.
Aloy, you came back with some interesting friends.
Wish I could say we don't need them. But SYLENS and Tilda are here for a reason. Even Regala.
Yeah. Enemy of my enemy and all that, right?
Right. I was hoping you could help me with something. It's about the Tanakh rebels, and it also has to do with the Oseram.
Really? That doesn't sound good. Let me know what I can do to help.
Tá, beleza. Esse negócio aí dos rebeldes foi uma missão que a gente fez, galera. Faz tempo. E eu não lembro o que era essa missão. Faz tempo não, né? Foi em alguma das nossas lives aí. Lembrando no Twitch, hein? Dá uma olhada lá.
You, talked to Tilda at all?
I tried. Well, and you say she wants to help.
I think so. Doesn't look like any...
Yet. So, I've been busting my balls trying to learn to read.
Don't worry. You'll be...
Looking forward to it.
I guess SYLENS is...
I was hoping you'd give me an excuse to...
Please don't.
You telling me you wouldn't want to get just one? After everything he's done?
Sure. Like...
Deixa eu falar com ele aqui, vai.
I discovered an Oseram militant group. They call themselves the Sons of Prometheus. It looks like they're the ones overriding machines for the Tanakh rebels.
I thought that was something only you could do.
They're familiar with ancient tech. And they're as anti-Karja as it gets.
So, last year we stopped Durval and his cronies from blowing up Meridian in retribution for the Red Raids. And now you're telling me we have another group of Oseram trying to wipe out the Karja with an army of machines and bloodthirsty Tanakh?
Pretty much.
Oh, well, that's just great!
Is there any way you can help me find out who they are? Anything to track them down and stop them?
Yeah, I can send out some messages from Chainscrape. Get in touch with my contacts in the claim, see what I can find out.
I'd appreciate that. You should know. SYLENS is involved with the Sons of Prometheus. He's the one who gave them the override tech to begin with.
Why doesn't that surprise me? That's probably all part of some master plan, huh?
At least we know we're good at wrecking those.
Damn straight.
Beleza, ó, vou dar um adeus aqui. Eu vou mostrar pra vocês, galera, aonde que libera essa parada aí, dessa fala, tá, ó. Deixa eu... Libera aqui, ó, neste acampamento aqui, tá? Esse acampamento rebelde. Eu fui lá e eles estavam convertendo máquinas aqui, tá? Então você vai aqui, libera esse acampamento, aí vai ter uns Osterman lá ajudando. E aí vai liberar essa fala lá com o Errand, beleza? O que mais que a gente tem que falar aqui? Eu já falei aqui, eu tenho que ir ali. Ó, tem gente pra falar aqui, ó. Falar com o Kotalo.
Haven't seen you since the battle at the Grove. How are you holding up?
I saw you fly on the wings of the Ten, and paralyze Regala's army with lightning. I would say that I am inspired.
Thank you, I guess.
It is I who should be thanking you.
Your people keep mentioning the wings of the Ten. What exactly does it mean?
The visions tell us that the Ten flew on great metal machines with wings, and leapt into battle from the sky. For us, to imitate this feat is the ultimate expression of martial prowess. It is why the challengers leap into the arena during the Kulrut. And now, you have done it. Like the deeds of the Ten themselves, it will never be forgotten. So, tell me, how did it feel?
I won't lie. Pretty good.
I can only imagine.
É nóis.
Did you meet?
There is something about her that I wouldn't be surprised if my sword went through her and...
Honestly, with her, things will get ugly once this you'll need every trick you've ever learned.
I would have it no other way. Many soldiers died in the old world, though I am curious how you intend to defeat...
Leave that to me. Just...
As you say.
How are your studies?
I wanted to learn more about the world of the...
And?
I looked up this pharaoh Gaia said you went look and learned about the plague of machines he unleashed. To think that the ancient world was wiped out by... There is no glory or honor in such a fate.
That about sums it up.
Caraca,
You
velho.
ready to put all your train?
I am Tenakth.
Olha a fala, velho. Tá de zoeira, né?
Look, I know you're probably not, but I want her on our side.
It is more than she deserves.
Thank you, Kotalo.
Ah, galera, e tem um negócio. Eu tava vendo aqui, porque quando a gente enfrenta a Regala, né, ele pergunta se a gente quer matar ela ou não. E se você mata ela, a única diferença que dá na história é que você ganha uma arma. A arma dela lá. Não sei se ganha algum troféu ou não, mas...
Have you spoken with Alva?
The Quen is peculiar. Her mind is sharp. That much is certain.
Trust me.
I will take your word.
You nervous about...
If I live, it will be in victory. What matters most is that...
I'll do my best.
Beleza, vou dar um tchau pra ele.
To go. But I'll be briefing everyone on the plan soon.
Understood.
Vamos sair aqui e vamos falar com o SYLENS, né? Ó.
I'm gonna clean my gear later. I can do
Well,
this.
now I know where metal flowers come from.
Ah,
Last-ditch effort to stop the Pharaoh plague. Demeter must have started distributing them after it took refuge in the greenhouse.
tá, ali tá...
There you are.
Tô aqui, ó. Eu já tinha lido isso aqui? Vou reproduzir aqui.
I've been tackling the design of the Ag Lab.
Tá, eu acho que sim, né? Ó, trouxe a obra de arte dela. Legal. Não tem mais nada. Fala com a mina aqui.
Well done, Aloy. Despite my reservations, you managed to secure SYLENS and his weapon. You're truly a shining example of Liz's fortitude.
I've been thinking about what you said at your house. How you were friends with Elizabeth. It was more than that, wasn't it?
Perceptive as ever. You're right, we were together for a time.
Okay, so...
Os eram...
I was an orphan.
Será?
I had always been alone. By my 30s, I was starting to wonder if that was simply my fate in life. And then I met Liz. We kept running into each other at conferences. We'd have coffee. At some point, it became drinks. I thought it was just shop talk, an exchange of ideas, but then I was surprised at how much I looked forward to seeing her. Soon we were flying halfway across the world every other week just to meet up. For the first time, I didn't feel lonely. I could imagine a future where I wasn't. I think Liz felt the same way at first. She had lost her mother a few years back. I filled a void for her. I know I did. But as time passed, it seemed as though she wanted less when I wanted more. And so we ended things.
So helping me, restoring Elizabeth's dream, it's what,
a second chance, yes. I made a mistake leaving Earth while Liz stayed behind. I should have done more. So when I saw you, a woman who has carved her own remarkable path, beyond even what made Liz a phenomenon, I knew I had to help you. To do right by her.
Tá bom. Vixe, olha o tanto de coisa que tem pra fazer, meu pai. Nossa senhora! Vai ser meia hora só de falar com a mina.
So, Eric. Was he always a bloodthirsty psychopath?
I believe he got worse over time. On Earth, he was the founder of a profitable private military company. A band of cutthroats, in other words. Even as governments abandoned human combatants in favor of automated warfare. He found success with clientele that required a more personal touch. There were also rumors that he personally hunted and killed his targets. On occasion, all for the thrill of it. But on Sirius, he retreated to virtual reality simulations. In them, he could go on rampages as violent as he pleased, though I suspect with diminishing satisfaction.
All of his tribe believes he was one of the greatest people from the old world.
Then they would be quite disappointed to meet him, though I'm sure he'd bask in the adoration.
What can you tell me about Gerard?
He was the head of the world's largest financial conglomerate, and as such had dealings with almost every major corporation. It made him one of the wealthiest people on Earth, and certainly the wealthiest among Far Zenith.
What does one person do with that much money?
Buy more power, more influence. Gerard's always believed himself to be a refined patrician, able to maintain control with a polished smile. But beneath that exterior is a cold and calculating operator. It was his decision to restrict Beta's upbringing to her digital educators, the avatars of the Apollo database, while we were painted as her benefactors.
Well, we'll deal with him soon enough. And the others.
I would very much like to see his face when he realizes we've beaten him.
When I was in the ruins of Vegas, I found data on a man named Stanley Chen. I think he was a Zenith.
Stanley, ever the optimist. He was one of the good ones. When we established our colony, he built an exact replica of Las Vegas in virtual reality. Lights, shows, gambling, every detail perfectly recreated. And while others cloistered themselves in their own fantasies, he flung his doors wide to everyone.
The way you're talking about him, I'm guessing he didn't make it back to Earth.
No, he perished when our colony was destroyed. He would have been thrilled to discover that part of his beloved city survived.
Tá bom.
When Beta escaped and hid in an ancient research facility, I saw another one of the Zeniths. Verbena. Who was she?
A dull star amidst a sea of brighter constellations. Unlike most of Far Zenith's members who amassed their wealth through shrewd business deals and technological achievements, Verbena inherited her billions. Her father had achieved great success in the luxury holotourism industry. At age 24, she became the world's most eligible bachelorette, branding herself a life designer. Someone who leverages their fame to influence the choice of others.
What? Like a cult?
In a way, yes.
Well, she must have done something right to have survived this long.
She was her own brand of ruthless. That much is true. But even rats can cling to a vessel for escape.
Okay, so I've had run-ins with a handful of Zeniths. What about the rest?
An array of the wealthiest people on Earth. Titans of their industries.
And let me guess. All selfish and ruthless to the core?
Most, but not all. There were a few with whom I got along. Annika Murjani, for instance, was always delightful. She founded the Holonet's most successful dance channel and was herself mesmerizing to watch. And I had fascinating discussions with Song Jiao about her work in cellular biology. Our immortality treatments are due in part to her achievements. But then there were others like Devin Miller, the CEO of a fast food printing corporation. His only real preoccupations were perfecting his golf swing and taking self-hollows. When I think about all of us, we really should have accomplished more. We had eternity.
When it's time to break into the Zenith base, what can we expect?
I'll go over the full layout once you've assembled your friends.
Tá bom.
Suffice it to say, we will need to push as fast as possible to Beta and Gaia's location, dealing with heavy resistance along the way. There are also printing facilities where the others have been amassing the natural resources they've stripped from the region.
What for?
First for use in the base's infrastructure, and then to fabricate more Spectre drones, a small army of them. In addition, they've also been ferrying materials to and from our ship in orbit. After hundreds of years luxuriating in our digital comforts, the ship was barely space-worthy when we made our escape. Disaster can strike at any moment. We've learned our lesson.
Have you figured out how SYLENS' weapon works?
A gente precisa saber, né?
No, and he's been very careful not to allow me near it. I'll admit it bothers me, but regardless of how it functions, I am confident it will deactivate the other shields en masse.
How many of them are in the base?
10, including Eric and Gerard. Only a handful of us made it to our ship when our colony collapsed.
Why do you think Elizabeth pulled away?
I've wondered that for 1,000 years. She was brilliant, visionary. She cared so deeply for the world.
Tá bom.
For the betterment of humanity. But it also felt like she kept everyone at arm's length, including me. She never wanted to share her burdens. I think, in the end, she had a core that she never let anyone be part of. Sometimes I wonder if anyone really knew her.
I found a recording of you and Elizabeth back in the proving lab after Far Zenith's attempt to steal Gaia.
Yes. A most unpleasant conversation.
She said something after the call. I think she regretted how things ended between you.
Did she? All this time, thank you for telling me. I've always hated that those were the last words we ever said to each other. And that her last impression of me was as a functionary of Far Zenith, not who I truly am.
Why did you make the data channel look like your house?
I built that house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place, not just for me, but for the art stored in its depths. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly, some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
Tá bom. Tá acabando aqui, hein, galera.
You said before that you're not like the other Zeniths. That you never were. But you went along with all of their plans.
Out of necessity. I'm not proud of it. But complicity became a means of survival, both when Earth was consumed and when the colony on Sirius was destroyed. I did what I had to. But I resolved to remain one step ahead of the others, to try to undo what damage I could. Hence the data channel with Beta. The secret passage into their base and the little trick I pulled to save you.
Ah, bom. Beleza.
Okay. I'll let you know when it's time.
I'll be here until then. And thank you, Aloy, for giving me this chance. My past has always been a struggle. More than once I've lost everything. But when I look to the future,
Acho que essa mina vai morrer.
I see Liz's dream fulfilled. A universe of new possibilities.
Maybe we can make it happen.
We will. I won't let anything get in the way. I promise you that.
Valeu.
This must be from the cool route. Between the Rockbreaker and the Slitherfang, Regala really wrecked the arena. I'm glad her rebellion is finally over. Now Hikaru and his people can move forward.
Aqui é a saída, tá?
Did you need something?
Olha o SYLENS aí, vamos ver. Coisa pra falar com ele.
Bravo. You managed to sway a Zenith to your side. Care to explain?
Not a chance. I thought you said the weapon was ready.
There's always room to optimize. But that's not why you're here. I assume you want to comprehend my undertakings. So, ask away.
Since when were you so forthcoming?
Since you turned this into a waiting game. And as it seems you have found modest success, perhaps I'm willing to be generous.
Vamos ver. Squen.
While I was out there, I had a couple run-ins with the Quen.
The tribe from across the ocean. And?
Their entire tribe was shaped around the discovery of focuses. One of them, Alva, even joined me here. Don't you want to know more about them?
No. They stumbled upon the greatest technological artifact from the ancient world, and what did they do with it? They shrouded the knowledge they unearthed in mysticism and taboo, creating a pantheon out of corporate shills.
Yes, well, it also led them to Thebes.
Did it now?
Será?
So those run-ins with the Quen I mentioned. On one of them I teamed up with their expedition to search Thebes. We found Pharaoh at the end.
You must have needed Omega clearance. So, what was it like?
Worse than you can imagine.
He single-handedly wiped out collective human knowledge. I'm sure it was still less than he deserved.
Let me guess. You would have scraped him into a jar so you could prod his brain, like what you did with Hades.
For a start.
Boa.
Tell me about the weapon. How does it work?
I've upgraded the delivery system. It now emits a wave-like effect covering a significant distance.
That doesn't fully answer my question.
No, but I'd be a fool to reveal its inner workings.
Exato.
After all, why did you withhold your plan for dealing with the Zenith drones? Yes, even you can appreciate the value of secrecy when warranted.
Exatamente.
Suffice it to say that the weapon will work. The intricacies of how is knowledge that is mine alone.
Okay, so your big plan, everything you've been manipulating for the last few months. Let me see if I got this straight. You learned about the Zeniths from Hades when you interrogated it. Then you came up with a plan to defeat them by using a Tenakth army and that weapon. And to get the Tenakth to fight for you, or rather the Sons of Prometheus, armed Regalla's rebels with override tech.
Did you have an actual question, or are you still playing catch-up?
So all this time, even before I found the coordinates at the Spire, you were out here scheming. Why couldn't you just tell me?
When I learned of the Zenith's return to Earth, I laid out my plans. I knew I would one day require an army of overzealous Tenakth to assault the Zenith base. The casualties would be extreme. And I knew you would never allow such a sacrifice, no matter how necessary. Thus, I devised a means to remove your interference from the equation at the Hades Proving Lab.
Entendi.
You wanted me to surrender to the Zeniths at the Hades Proving Lab. They almost killed me.
Based on everything I knew about them, I concluded they would find you a useful asset, thereby keeping you out of harm's way and, more importantly, out of my way.
So you really didn't know they had their own clone of Elizabeth?
No. Unfortunately, there was no way I could have known that particular detail.
Detail? Well, I guess if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here today. Why help Regalla take over? If you wanted an army, you could have just gone to Hekarro.
Before Regalla's rebellion, Hekarro was only concerned with battling machines and fostering friendships with Akarja. Even if I gained his ear, he would never agree to send his forces to battle a threat he couldn't understand.
So helping a bloodthirsty exile was easier?
Yes. Exceedingly so. All Regalla craved was war against the Karja and anyone who threatens the Tenakth. She would have led the tribe into battle without question, which was precisely what I needed.
Faz todo sentido.
Why create the Sons of Prometheus? You didn't need a bunch of Oseram tinkerers to make override tech.
They were a necessary safeguard. My time serving Hades in the Eclipse demonstrated the risks of getting directly involved. Through the Sons of Prometheus, I could execute my plans, all while remaining anonymous.
Ah, bom.
All right, Sylens, I think I've talked to you long enough. I'll let you know when it's time to go. And try not to mess with Tilda while you're in here, okay? I don't need the two of you butting heads.
Ah, yes. About your Zenith ally. I wonder if you understand what kind of person you're dealing with. For someone to live as long as she has, outlast as many calamities, well, your goals may be aligned now, but I'd watch for the moment they diverge.
Yeah, I'm aware. Reminds me of someone else I know.
Survival is only a necessity to my greater purpose, Aloy. I'd hoped you'd recognize that by now.
Do you know something or not?
Oh, I know a great deal of things. But on this, just call it a feeling.
Oh, a feeling? You mean you finally had one? Huh. Guess even you can change, Sylens.
Tem alguma coisa aqui na salinha dele? Lanterna de SYLENS. Não posso usar aquela lanterna ali, não?
That fabrication terminal has been very useful.
É, ué. Bom, tem mais... E a Regalla? Onde é que ela tá, hein? Que eu não vi ela. Eu não achei a regala.
There's Gwen stuff in here now. Must be all of us.
Ó. Também tem aqui, ó. Vou dar uma pausinha pra dar uma lida, beleza, galera? Ó, aqui tá o cotalo. Bom, galera, eu não sei onde está a regala, mas eu vou fazer o seguinte, eu vou finalizar o vídeo por aqui. Já deu mais de meia hora aí, só na falação, hein? Então a gente vai finalizar o vídeo por aqui, a gente continua exatamente desse ponto, pra ir pro pau, eu espero, né? Chega de ter papinho, passamos meia hora batendo papinho, agora quero, ó, quero ação. Então espero que vocês tenham curtido, gente. Deixa o like aí, se inscreve no canal, tá bom? Valeu, gente, beijo, fui. Tchau.